Once upon a time, in a land not so terribly far away, there lived a very old man and his family. Now, this man and his wife were accused of some very unspeakable and unthinkable acts. They were accused of witchcraft, and not the cool Hogwarts kind either.
This atrocity came about in the late 1600s, a time when angry Puritans ruling this fresh new world wanted nothing more than for all the people residing in the newly governed land to unify under the strict Protestant laws. The problem with this enforcement was that even the slightest sign of nonconformity was twisted into hysterical fear of the unknown and the unprovable, bringing on a horror so real that people were physically falling ill from nothing more than frenzied panic.
Witches are coming! The witches are coming!
And so began the Salem witch trials, a string of hearings and prosecutions of people accused of sorcery in colonial Massachusetts between February 1692 and May 1693. Although these were not the first of their kind in history, the injustice that took place during these investigations was indeed a miscarriage of justice, resulting in the executions of 20 people, none of which having any actual evidence proving these people were indeed performing witchcraft.
You cursed brat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah, the moon! The moon! I'm going!
But one of these 20 enchanters that stood accused of bewitchment was not going to give the courts the satisfaction of any easy and ridiculously based execution. After having seen his fellow accused conjurers burned and hung, Giles Corey did what he thought was best. Nothing.
At 81 years old, Giles Corey was a prosperous landowning farmer in Salem and full member of the church. He and his wife Martha lived on a farm in the southwest corner of Salem Village. In 1692, both Martha and Giles were accused of witchcraft. One of the accusers even went so far as to say that she had seen Corey praying to the devil outside the window of the neighbor's home during a family dinner. Based on this testimony, the two of them were sent to the Salem jail to await trial.
After having been detained for 5 months, Giles Corey's case finally went before the grand jury, where he was asked to enter a plea. But our Dumbledore friend had a different plan. According to the law at the time, any person who refused to plead could not be tried. To avoid persons cheating justice, the legal remedy for refusing to plead was peine forte à dur, which translates to hard and forceful punishment. This barbaric act, also known as pressing, was a method of torture formerly used in the French common law legal system. It was a punishment never before seen or ever again inflicted in the colony of Massachusetts.
The law in Salem was clearly stated: remanded to the prison from whence he came and put into a low dark chamber, and there be laid on his back on the bare floor, naked, unless when decency forbids, that there be placed upon his body as great a weight as he could bear, and more, that he hath no sustenance save only on the first day, 3 morsels of the worst bread, and the second day 3 draughts of standing water. That should be alternately his daily diet till he died, or till he answered.
What our clever friend had deduced was, no matter what he pled, he would most surely be put to death. But to remain silent up until his passing, all of the land that was owned by our clever friend would go to his son-in-laws and not be turned over to the government, thus keeping the farm with the family. He only needed to refrain from speaking. And so Giles Corey was sentenced to pressing. Giles was a tough old bird, and after 2 days of unrelenting torture, Giles was asked 3 times to plead innocent or guilty to witchcraft. Each time his only reply was, "More weight."
What do you have to say in your defense? What was that? A little bit louder now.
More weight!
With each request from Corey, more and more massive rocks were placed on top of him.
In the pressing, Giles Corey's tongue was pressed out of his mouth. The sheriff, with his cane, forced it in again.
And without another word, Giles Corey had died. It was because of this heinous execution that was so publicly viewed that pressing was never again used, and the accusations of witchcraft died down immensely.
Giles Corey was a wizard strong, a stubborn wretch was he, and fit was he to hang on high upon the locust tree. So when before the magistrates for trial he did come, he would no true confession make, but was completely done. Giles Corey, said the magistrate, what hast thou here to plead? To those who now accuse thy sood of crime and horrid deed. Giles Corey, he said not a word, no single word he spoke. Giles Corey, said the magistrate, will press it out of thee. They got them then a heavy beam, then laid it on his breast. They loaded it with heavy stones and hard upon him pressed. More weight, now said this wretched man. More weight, again he cried, and he did no confession make, but wickedly he died.
We would be honored if you would join us.
I had no choice. They arrived right before you did. I'm sorry.